Hello everyone, how's it going? So I'm going to do a quick video about my photography experiences with at the recent Red Bull campus cricket finals, national finals that happened on Saturday actually. So some people had actually asked me, what I thought about the Sonys compared to the Canons which I used to shoot, and give my opinion about it. So okay, so here's the thing. So for the last couple of days, I shot on the Sony A9 and the A7R Mark III. So the A7R Mark III is the new big image sensor body that's out there. I used to use the A7R Mark II, but now it's the A7R Mark III, and I love it. I love it. And this, the A9 is it's the fastest camera around there. I mean, it's got 20 frames a second and stuff, and lots of other stuff. So I'm not going to get into that right now. This video is basically about my experience with the two cameras and my take on it. So on average, when I was shooting the event, I had two 5D Mark IIIs shooting with the big boys over there, the 600 and the 400. I'm waiting for the Sony 400 to get my hands on it. Yum, 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 yum. Anyway, so I'm just shooting the Sony 100 to 400, which I used last time too, and this time I used it with the A7R Mark III and with the A9. And I also bought this one last time, which is the 150-600. It is a Sigma. It's a sports version. And I found that this lens is actually amazing. It just lets me get really in the face of the batsman and stuff when I'm shooting. And I found that it has the best range. The 100 falls short, but it's really great if I'm doing like fielding shots and stuff. But for batsman shots, for getting those really close shots of the bowler, this camera fell short. But saying that, with the A7R Mark III, I was able to do 100% crop without a problem because it's a 40 megapixel camera. 2440. So yeah, there's a lot of cropping that happened, and most of my images were meant for web. So I could do even a 200% crop and still get the quality of it. I must say the A7R Mark III was amazing, simply because the AF was really fast. It's got like 5 frames a second, and I'm not like a burst shooting kind of guy. I just like to shoot a few shots and get my shot in the bag. This came in really handy for that. There are instances where the A9 performs hands down in this kind of event, especially if I'm trying to get that shot of say I'm getting a batsman getting a wicket, or a bowler getting a wicket, and the bails are just flying out, and I can actually get like different stages of the bail just flying off from the wicket. This camera comes in really handy when I'm doing that. But I didn't have an issue with this one because I was shooting mostly fielding shots and a few bowling shots here and there. So overall, what did I think of the Sonys compared to the Canons? Honest opinion, I was amazed. Honest opinion. The A7 and the A9, both of them basically perform really well. I have a small issue on my A9 which I need to get fixed. So I was actually shooting mostly on the A7R Mark III. I could go and get my image and zoom into stuff, and I had no problems with the final image, and the quality was just amazing. The focusing was really great, especially when I was tracking the fielder running from A to B. Those are really good. I could get some nice images in the bag. I didn't have the advantage, like I said, of the multi-frame, like the 20 frames a second like I had on this one, but still got my images in the bag. One thing I actually quickly want to address to you guys is when I was using this 150-600 lens, I use these two adapters, and I found a big difference between these two. So I'll quickly give you a heads up. This is the Metabones adapter. This is the version 4, the older one, and this is the MC11 adapter by Sigma. I found that the Sigma performed way better than the Metabones. Okay, the Sigma is newer, this is older. It may be an issue that I really hacked this one. It may be that this is newer, but I found that this one focused faster, it tracked better. It didn't jump on the shot. So this one I had a few issues like that. with both cameras. So I found that the Sigma MC11 adapter worked better. I haven't done an update on the MC11 since I bought it. So I think I bought this about a year ago, I think. This one is about 2.5 years old. I did an update on this one, but I wasn't impressed. This one actually performed better. I actually had a few times where I kind of looked like it was getting stuck. This one I didn't have it. So my recommendation, if you guys are shooting a Sony and you're going to shoot a non-native Sony lens like this baby, then you might want to get the Sigma adapter, the MC11 adapter. It's quite good. That being said, image quality and dynamic range wise compared to the Canons I used to shoot, leagues ahead. I mean, so much so that I would purposely underexpose my images, like maybe by half a stop, and I would get amazing details on my darks, on my highs and everything. And I also, just to keep you guys informed, I used to shoot on shutter priority and shutter speed was about 1000. And I found that I had to sometimes, the clouds were coming in and I sometimes had to go down to about 800 ISO, which has no issues at all, even with the pull of the aperture on post. I use Lightroom to do my editing. So when I put it on Lightroom, just put my edit in there, there was no issues with it, there's no noise. If I did that with my Canons, I know for sure I would probably get some noise in there. But those babies are an f2.8 and f4, so you can't compare that with a 4.5, 5.6 and 5.6, sorry, yeah, it's a 5.6, 6.3. Yeah, I got that right. So my final verdict, I would love to get my hands on the 400, the new one that's out by Sony. I've seen some really great reviews out there. I think it's going to be lighter than this 400. This baby is quite heavy. This is the Canon 400 2.8. I think it's going to be, I don't have the exact weight right now on me, but I've seen some YouTube channelers out there like Tony and Chelsea. They have given us a good indication of how it's going to be. I really want to see what my A9 on this is going to look like, not on this, on the Sony is going to look like. So if I do get my hands on it, you guys will be the first to know. So until then, if there's any other questions that you have, please PM me or put it on the link below and give me a thumbs up. See ya!